Nick Raeburn, how are you this morning?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, yes.
I just really wanted to catch the guy who's always so slick on video, just taking a drink and choking on his own water.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. So you have reached dizzying heights. I just wanted to let you know you've reached dizzying heights. I said to my wife the other day, she said, "Are you doing a Crux Cast on Tuesday?" I said, "Yes, I am. I'm with Nick Raeburn." And she said, "Who?" And I said,
Yeah.
"You know, that video nerd, you know," and she went, "The sausage guy."
She's seen the sausage video. Though.
She's seen the sausage video, absolutely. So you've now referred to her as the sausage guy, which I'm not entirely sure is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I might have to change my hashtag and my bio.
Exactly. So you've got a few brands that are associated with you. I guess the main company is what's behind you, right?
Yes, that's Vireal. That's my company. We've been going now for just over 2.5 years. So yeah.
Very good.
Been an uphill struggle, but now I've discovered LinkedIn. You
found your spiritual home. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah,
was it always about film for you?
Yeah, I mean, since I think I sort of discussed this with you before, but I've always been passionate about film and cinema. When I was younger, my dad used to own a dry cleaners over in Uckfield, which is in East Sussex, and right next door to the dry cleaners was this lovely old cinema, which is still there today. So every Saturday I'd go with Dad to the dry cleaners, and he'd be working, and I'd chip off next door to the cinema and sit in there all day just hoovering up films. So that was my education.
That was your education. Was there a particular genre for you back then? Or was there a particular movie that struck a chord?
I guess I've always kind of moved towards kind of fantasy, sci-fi, and horror. I suppose more kind of fantastical.
Right.
More interested I was in those kind of genres, really. So, yeah.
So what was the spark from going to the cinema next door to the dry cleaners to I'm going to get into this. I'm going to study this. I'm going to push this forward. What was
I don't know, really. I guess it's just always been, you know, I'm massively passionate about it, and I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine doing anything else. So I thought, why not do what you love as a job? It's the old axiom, isn't it? You know, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a bash. Kind of started out freelancing. I went to university, studied film and media for all the good it actually did me.
Right.
If I had the time again, probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
But that's not to say it kind of has its time in its place. But yeah. So started out freelancing, and then moved into an agency role. Kind of worked my way up through the agency. Was there for a while. And then my daughter was born, so I thought, why not start my own business? Because I want to spend more time with my family. And we both know that doesn't quite work out how you plan, spending more time with your family when you run your own business. We birthed Viral Media a few years ago. And been going from strength to strength at the moment. It's fun.
Very good. Yeah, I guess you know, I've been following you for quite a while, and I watched some of your stuff, and as much as I find it educational, sort of aspirational as well, because when I watch your stuff, I mean, you're a professional, you know what you're doing, you're taking professional training, amazing kit, and a good knowledge base as well of what works, visually stimulating and all of that, and you're now using that on social media to promote your own brand and to promote thoughts and all of that. So average Joe with a video camera and not much knowledge like me and a simple little editing suite looks at your stuff and thinks, one day, maybe, probably not, and oh my God, I look so amateurish next to this guy. But you know, you've got to keep doing it because you've got to keep pushing forward, right? I guess a question I'd have for you is, given the fact that social media is now becoming such a route for business, and it's so obviously a route for business to generate leads and opportunities and all of that through social networks, and video being a big part of that. If you're sitting there today thinking, I really want a piece of this, I don't have much money, but I really want to get started. Let's look at kit to start with. What would be a reasonable sort of type of kit to get you started?
Yeah, I mean, I always say that the best kind of camera is the one that you've got in your pocket, which most people have, and that's a smartphone.
Right.
Most smartphones shoot in 4K, which is me slipping into nerdy territory as I'm occasionally want to do. But that means it will shoot in 4 times the size of high definition, so that it'll be super crisp. The cameras in smartphones are they're well above and beyond what you typically be used to. Some other kind of important bits of kit that are worth investing in, and this is a really important one, is a decent quality microphone.
Right.
I'm sure you've probably kind of scrolled through your LinkedIn feed and occasionally popped onto a video of someone kind of walking around outside, and all you can hear is and the wind noise buffing against the camera. So a decent quality microphone is well worth investing in.
And that's not going to break the bank, is it?
No, I mean, you're looking at probably, kind of 40, 50 quid for a decent quality mic, and that will stand you the test of time. It's not a huge investment. I mean, your smartphones, people are spending upwards of £1,000 now on a smartphone. So
totally,
if you can afford a smartphone, you can afford a decent quality microphone.
So here's my question on smartphones and for recording video for social media content, right? So the old quandary of I can't see myself if I turn around to get the good camera on the back of it. And if I turn it round, am I going to get as good quality? I can see myself, but the front forward-facing camera, am I losing the edge?
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses for that. I mean, it's good to be able to check yourself and kind of see what you're looking at, because people have a tendency when they're recording as well on camera, they'll be looking at the screen. Now I've got a screen down here that I'm using to record, which is there. But if I look down there, my eye line's off the camera.
Yep.
So you want to be looking straight down the lens, because that's who you're talking to. That's your audience. And that can be a bit confusing when you're looking at a camera front-facing camera screen. It can be a bit distracting. So sometimes it's better to actually use the rear-facing camera. Then you're not distracted by that, by looking at yourself, basically. And if you kind of train yourself to look straight down the lens, after sort of 2 or 3 videos, you kind of get used to it.
Sure.
So I would say if you can kind of get it, what I've done here, my setup I've got here in the studio, I've got 2 permanent setups. So one next door is where I do my live stuff from. But in here, I've got a permanent setup, so you can see all the lights are kind of set up behind me. The camera stays in a fixed place. If you get a kind of little nook or space in your office where you can set your stuff up, you can leave it there permanently kind of set up, and it's there ready to go anytime you need it to. So that's a good tip as well, is that just set it all up, forget about it, and then when you need to come to record, it's all there. You're not faffing around with bits of kit and gear and tripods and lights and all the miscellaneous paraphernalia. Stuff that you need to film with. So that's a good way of doing it.
So I've got it and bought myself a mic. I've got a camera on my smartphone, and I want to start recording some decent video. What are your sort of top tips for engaging content, and how should you do it? What just your view?
I think the key thing, and the thing that really kind of helps you stand out on this platform, is that it's because it's a business related platform. People think that the content has to be business related. Whenever I hear the word business, I automatically think dry. But if you inject a little bit of humor into it, be yourself, and take the time to actually kind of script stuff, come up with kind of wacky ideas or skits, and try stuff out on your audience. You'll be surprised at the stuff that people actually engage with, as opposed to your typical. I'm sure you've seen it before. You keep scrolling through your feed, and all you can see is talking heads of people talking about sales driven content or how to attract the right customer, and it's all the same kind of dross, really. I think I'm of the opinion that LinkedIn's it's still in its infancy as a platform, and if you look at how YouTube's kind of evolved probably over the past kind of 5 years or so, the quality of the content, people think as well that and there are people that advocate this, Gaisford and Mark Gaisford are two big ones. That you're constantly the speed that you need to churn out content on social media. You can't go too crazy with the production values. But I think that LinkedIn, the kind of logical endpoint for LinkedIn, the gulf between the kind of what I call the pod posts, kind of crappy, generic content where people just go, yes, this is amazing, this is really good content, where people have just ripped off other people's content from the internet and they're just putting it out there and commenting on it, as opposed to the stuff where you actually take the time to invest in making it look right. The content's good. The Knowltons stick out for me as well. Dan Knowlton, their stuff's really, really good. They do a lot of funny kind of skits and stuff, and the reason it sticks out is because it's so far removed. It's the binary opposite to a lot of the content that's on the feed. I do think there's a kind of fragmentation with the content on this platform. It will slowly start to splinter off, and you'll just get better and better content, as more content creators move onto the platform. And in 5 years' time, it will be like it is on YouTube. You have really high, high production value, quality content, which is as it should be.
As it should be, says that video.
As it should be.
So I've worked out how to do my content. I'm going to do some really interesting, engaging stuff. I've got my camera, I've got my microphone, so I record it. But your stuff, you're taking that to a different level in terms of production value. I don't know how long. Well, you maybe don't spend half as long as I do on my stuff, but yours is like a magnitude of higher quality and professionalism. But average Joe who's doing it on a budget, average me who's just doing it on a budget, what's a decent way to get that film that you've taken, that audio that you've taken, and make it look decent? What's a decent way to do that?
I think probably the best thing people can learn to do, and I recently did a post on this, a video on this, and it was an older video that I republished. But if you take the time to learn to edit, that has a massive impact on the quality of your content. You can condense the content, you can make it more refined, you can make it more punchy. You can use what are called pattern interrupts, so you can keep adding kind of things to keep people engaged and watching, because that's a big one on social media. The reason people post a lot of short content on social media is because they want people to watch the content all the way through. But you can keep someone watching content for a longer period of time if you keep them engaged for that whole period. And when you learn to edit, it becomes more powerful, and it allows you to do that. You've probably seen it as I do as well. When you scroll through the feed, you'll see people that because they don't know how to edit, or they don't know what editing is, they'll do a single take to camera and they'll record it and they'll nail it, and it'll be really good. But it might be a minute or 2 minutes of them speaking, which is it works for them in terms of a sort of production process, but it's not very engaging to watch. And the great thing is with editing as well, I've been making videos for over 20 years, and I've been directing and producing the other side of the camera for a long time, but I screw up all the time on the other side of the camera. When I'm recording, I'll fluff lines all the time, but with editing, obviously allows you to cut into that stuff and remove all the gaffes and the bad takes. So it's more time efficient in the long run when you learn to edit. So that's a huge one. Is you take the time, pick a package. There's tons of really good, great free software out there. There's tons of really great tutorials on YouTube. It's an investment of your time, but it's well worth learning. That is learn to edit. Or there's tons of great services out there that offer editing for relatively inexpensively as well. So give them your content, say what you want, and then they'll chop it up for you.
Very good, very good. So we're about to, I think Australia has had it, I think there's some places in Europe have had it, but we're about to see a bit of a change in what we've known LinkedIn to be for the last few years. And they're sort of catching up with the rest of the platforms and giving us a stories, LinkedIn stories kind of facility. Do you think that's going to change anything? Do you think it's going to have a dramatic, or it's just going to be just one of those things that we just start taking for granted?
I like to think so. There's more, and it's good to see LinkedIn kind of put more emphasis on video content. They kind of emulate a lot of the practices that kind of Facebook and Instagram have been using for a long while. And I think with the stories format, because it's quite short, you can make that content more impactful, more playful. I think that's what they want people to do on the platform is they want that, well, they need good content on the platform to keep people engaged and keep people coming onto the platform. So stories is kind of a kind of natural evolution of that, I think. And it'd be interesting to see what a lot of the good content creators do with it. I'm pretty excited for when it comes out.
Yeah, you know what it's like on Instagram stories. You get amazing professionally done content, and you get reams and reams and reams of just stuff that people have just churned out in a couple of seconds and put it out there. Maybe it's going to. I'm really interested. Going back to what you said about the Nolans and their wigs around the table. You know that skit they did about this is a business platform. This is a business platform. This isn't Facebook, because if people are going to have a facility to put up little sort of memes that they've created, little sound bites and things like that, I think it's going to take it even more into that sort of personable space. And maybe even sort of de-chrome the "this is a business platform" brigade. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what a lot of people don't understand that you and I do. I think is that although LinkedIn is a professional platform, it's a very human-centric platform as well. It's a social media platform first and foremost, and people relate to people, they buy from people. So the more human, the more emotional, more relatable you can make your content to a person, the more likely they are to engage with it.
Superb. So what is next for you? Where are you taking this journey of the company and what you're doing with it? Just interested.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned this to you before, but my ultimate aim really is to kind of grow the agency up to a point where I can ultimately sell the company, and I just like to I can kind of picture myself in my sort of golden years, just messing around and making films. That's all I've ever wanted to do. So I think having this business is a byproduct of just doing something that I love. And having the opportunity to have a bit of funding and cash behind me where I can just experiment and do crazy stuff is perfect. And that's again why I love this platform, because I get I kind of produce and I project manage a lot of jobs, and sometimes you're kind of working on those jobs rather than in the jobs. Mm-hmm. And it's the actual process of creating that I love the most.
Right.
And LinkedIn gives me the opportunity to do. I don't know what it is, but I get. It's almost like a drug, I suppose. I get addicted to it, and I have to make something. If I don't make something, I end up getting cranky and moody.
Right.
And I have to just keep doing it, and LinkedIn gives me the opportunity to do that. So even when it's even when I'm kind of project managing a job, and I'm not so much, I'm just on the kind of fringes of it, not so much actually inside it creating the content. LinkedIn gives me the opportunity to do that, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. And how much, it's a question I'm asking a lot of business leaders that might not be so active on social right now, or may be active on social, but how much of your revenue as a company comes from directly linked to your social media activity?
I'd say probably 60-70% of our revenue now.
Wow.
It used to be a lot different to that, probably about a year ago. Because we still do. We work a lot with agencies, larger agencies, and produce content for them. But it's slowly filtering through now, which is it's nice to see when you put the time and effort into something, you start to get return from it, and you're like, oh, okay, this works.
Yes, works.
So yeah, it's taken about, I suppose, it must be coming up to 10 months now of me kind of really hitting it hard and producing a lot of content, but people are starting to notice, and it's like any social media platform, you build up an audience, and then you get people enjoy your content, and you don't have to kind of blow your own trumpet on the platform. They get together and they become your cheerleaders for you. You position yourself as the expert because you've been. I mean, video works perfectly for us as a medium. If you're if you're a copywriter, for instance, you probably do more kind of text-based posts. But yeah, I can use video as a platform to kind of push our services, and it just works really well as a medium. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you can tell it comes through in your work that you do. So I urge everyone to go and check out Nick's work. I guess people can get hold of you on LinkedIn. That's probably why we're here discussing this.
Yeah.
People can get you on your LinkedIn profile, which I'll tag you in on. Thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been outstanding, and I can't wait to your next installment. Sometimes I open them with one eye covered just in case, the sausage thing and all that. Where's he going next?
I'm trying to get to that kind of. I always try and push myself a little bit out of that comfort zone. Where is the limit of how far I can kind of really?
Yeah, take this. The headline. The headline. Does your content have girth? Is going to stick with me for some time.
It's nightmare fuel. That is nightmare fuel.
Absolutely, man. No, it's been a great pleasure to talk to you, and I urge everyone to go and check out your platforms and where you're showing off all your work, 'cause it's inspirational stuff. Thanks so much for joining us.
Cheers, Eric. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.